So now, how is it that were there others who had the same observation that she had?
Yes.
I mean, these are Pentagon officials. These are people who know bombs and planes
You'd
and
think.
missiles.
Yes.
So, if there were others who had no vested interest in continuing a lie or taking part in a lie, why have we not heard?
You can't explain that. I can't explain it.
Is it because it is so odious to American
I
people
would
to
think
hear that such a
some-
terrible thing would be done by our own, on our own?
You can't get people, mainstream people, journalists in particular, to look at the information that's there, because they come from the other side of the question: how could they ever do it? You
Right.
know? How could they get away with it? How come somebody didn't blow a whistle on them?
And then you just consider Dick Cheney
Yeah.
or
I mean,
Donald Rumsfeld.
It's not that they haven't shown themselves capable of mass murder,
right.
as has occurred in Iraq over so many years and killing so many people. It's not that they haven't shown themselves willing to do any kind of wrong that you could possibly imagine. It is hard to feature how they could arrange it and it wouldn't come out, you know, but there wasn't necessarily that much they had to do, you know. There's questions about the official explanation of everything that connected with 9/11. There's nothing that holds together in the way of their explanation or descriptions even of what really happened. I mean, but people have also been totally disposed to believe in any kind of explanation that just leaves it, you know, this mystery about these other people,
Some other guys
Al
did it.
Qaeda, who came out of nowhere, and those all of the stuff about the 19 guys, we've had to take the government's word for it, you know. And they got all these, they came up with all these names, all these pictures. They knew which guy was in which plane, even though they supposedly knew who were the pilots. How did they know all this? You know, they haven't explained where they got that information.
What about the people who were supposedly on the plane that supposedly went into the Pentagon?
You know, they're gone. That's for sure. I mean, there's a black box from that plane.
They do.
Yeah, there is a black box.
So there was a plane somewhere.
Yes, absolutely, and there was a Flight 77 that left Washington coming, I think, here or San Francisco. I'm not sure where that plane was headed.
So in your case, it's a lawsuit that charges Rumsfeld and Cheney with complicity, right? And so this Army, is she an ex-GI?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
It
was
seeks damages,
discharged
triple
last year.
damages for the ex-U.S. Army member who, along with her baby, was injured in the attack on the Pentagon. Now, no one else has come forward to join in such a thing or do their own?
She has, colleagues that are in the same situation that she's in. They were hurt, and they're still kind of in limbo with the government as to how to resolve any claims they have for being hurt. They've had medical attention, but that's about it. So she asked some of them if they wanted to get involved in it, and they were afraid to threaten whatever might still be there for them if the government ever gets around to dealing with them.
Oh boy!
So they wouldn't, and actually were upset with her for doing it. But she felt like, she went to hearing with Rumsfeld. They had before the commission, a closed hearing where only the survivors were allowed to come.
Right.
Try to ask him, where were the planes?
Right.
And he just double talked.
That's so hard to believe out of Donald Rumsfeld.
Her biggest thing Her biggest point is, well, you know, it has been made clear that they knew this plane was coming back towards Washington. They already knew the planes had hit in New York. They didn't warn the people in the Pentagon. They didn't evacuate the building. They didn't evacuate the White House, the target buildings in Washington. They pretended like they didn't know.
They did evacuate. I know they evacuated the Capitol, but it was after it had already happened.
Yes. They did a lot of stuff after it was
Right,
over.
right.
Because, of course, I mean, you couldn't say they knew it was over or that everybody knew it was over. Certain people might have known.
Aye.
And there's another angle to the thing in the Pentagon, which has to do with the fact that on September 10th, 2001, Rumsfeld came out he had a press conference where he announced they'd been doing an audit, and there were $2.3 trillion in Pentagon funds that they couldn't locate in the audit. And the part of the building that was destroyed in the explosion of whatever it was, plane or no plane, was where the financial records were the next day. And you never heard anything about that since then, that they were looking for this same $2 trillion and that they found this or found that. Nothing was mentioned about it again. You can find stuff if you look online. You can find information that had to do with it, but you won't find any follow-up news stories that report hearings or results of an investigation or anything like that.
What this woman who is your plaintiff, who is a career soldier holding top secret clearance, right? She had been assigned in Germany and was in the notes that you sent me. She was rather abruptly transferred back to the Pentagon?
Yeah, although it was many months before this happened.
Oh, okay.
We haven't discerned any connection
Okay.
there. You know, I mean, once you get into some inquiry like this, you're suspicious of everything, right? And you're trying to test everything.